So we've got a lot going on this morning in the kitchen. We got some bacon cooking in our Ninja Foodie behind us. We're going to use some of that for our jalapeno popper chicken that we're making, and then some just for some regular breakfast. We are headed to participate in a stew cook-off, Dutch oven cook-off, all of that today. So we'll need to pack some snacks, and then I'm also going to pop some red beans and rice in that Ninja Foodie on slow cooker function for us to have this evening for dinner, because even though we'll eat stew there, by the time we get home, everybody will be hungry again. So, bacon, jalapeno popper chicken salad, and then red beans and rice in the slow cooker. So, let's zoom y'all in and get started. Alright y'all, our bacon is all done. So we're going to go ahead and get our jalapeno popper chicken salad going so that it can chill just a little bit before we need to leave. So I'm just using canned chicken, and this is just some chicken that we've canned, but you can use the stuff out of like the grocery store. You could even use rotisserie chicken if you want. Just any cooked chicken. Now I am going to save the broth from this and mix that with some chicken broth for our dinner that we're making right after this. So use every part that I can. I'm going to set this to the side. Alright, so we need about 4 cups of chicken down into our bowl. I'm just going to break this up and pour it in. We've gotten to where we even prefer our home canned chicken over the other. So it's not just a money saver for us. Something about the flavor is just so much better. It tastes buttery, and I don't know, it's just perfect for even me. Oh, it's perfect for even like mixing some mayo and seasonings in the jar. Like obviously not one of these large jars, but in like the small jar, and just taking that whole thing as your lunch anyway. So the smaller jar has about 1.5 cups of chicken in it, and this larger jar has about 3 cups in it. So we're going to be a little bit over the 4 cups, if that's all right. We just might need to add a little bit more mayo and seasoning and stuff. Next up, we have our pack of bacon that we cooked, and I just went ahead and cut it into these small bits so that I don't have to crumble it. One less step since I'm already having to cut it. We need half a block of softened cream cheese. We need about half a cup of mayo. Like I said, we might need a little bit more since we have a little more chicken, but we'll wait and see. Move this over so y'all can see a little bit better. So we're just going to cut the stem off and just slice it like this. You can cut out some of these seeds, especially if you don't want it as spicy. Get some of that out. But we want all of that flavor. Ooh, this one smells so good. We're going to scrape out some of these seeds. Now you can use gloves to cut up your peppers if you want. That's not really a big deal for me unless I'm making like jalapeno poppers and I'm messing with peppers for a while. But when I'm just cutting a few, it doesn't bother me to do this without gloves. I'm just going to do a little rough dice of these into some small chunks. I still want us to be able to notice that it's jalapeno chunks, so not like minced up like your garlic. We are going to use 4 peppers in this, but if you want less peppery, then you just reduce it down. Or I wouldn't leave it out, because for me it makes a huge flavor difference. Now we're just going to get all of these finished dicing up. Alright, next up we need some green onion, and I'm probably going to have to get Eleanor to run and chop some more off her plants for me. I'm going to use what we have in the fridge first. Yeah, we're definitely going to want some more. So you want about 5 or 6 green onion stems, the greens and the whites. So this is what we still have in our fridge from the last time she cut, so I'm using those first. Alright, so we just sliced those up. We're going to dump those in, and we'll add the rest in just a bit. Okay, so I'm going to move this to the side because we're not using that until we get some more of our green onions. And our main thing here is we need to mix this cream cheese and mayo in. We're mixing all of it together, but I just want to get that mayo and cream cheese spread out first. That's our main, like, moisture ingredient. Okay. A little bit of pepper all around the bowl, maybe about a half teaspoon. And then we're going to start with about a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. That bacon is already going to be a little salty, and you can use a bigger spoon. This is my scraper spoon, and I quite often use it, even though I shouldn't. Let's get something that's going to mix and break up those chicken chunks a little bit better. So we're just going to add a little bit more mayo. Now one of the yummiest parts. We need about a cup of cheese. Y'all know we love our cheese, so sometimes it ends up way more than a cup. So that would be about half a block of, half an 8-ounce block, or 4 ounces total. And we don't quite have half a block here, so I have another Colby Jack. We're using cheddar for this, but we're going to fill it in just a little bit with that Colby Jack. And then we'll put this one back in the bag and save it for later. We're going to stir it all together and taste test. We've got good salt flavor, and that's the main thing we're checking right now, because our flavors are not going to really develop until they sit together. If you find that your chicken feels a little dry and you don't want extra mayo, you can add a few splashes of apple juice to this and it'll help with that moisture. So I'm going to go ahead and portion in some of this for us to take with us, and then put the rest in the fridge. And yes, it may look like a lot, but there may be more than just us eating. We have some friends and things that come out there with us. So we're going to fill all our little snack containers. We're taking some crackers to go with this. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest of this in the fridge, and we're going to start packing up our snacks. Alright y'all, so we're going to go ahead and get started on our red beans and rice. So we're using the same pan that we just cooked our bacon in, emptied out the bacon grease, so it won't hurt it at all. If anything, it'll add a little bit more flavor to it. We're going to add in 1 large onion that we've diced up, about 2 stalks of diced celery, 1 bell pepper that I normally would dice, but this is frozen, so it will kind of break itself up as it cooks. To this, we're going to add our red beans that we've been soaking overnight. I just drained off the majority of that liquid. For these, we're just using small red beans, and it is a 1-pound package. We need 5 cups of chicken broth, so I've got 2 cups that I drained off of my cooked chicken. And to that, I'm going to add 3 cups of water and about 3 or 4 teaspoons of chicken bouillon powder. So that will make up my chicken broth. We need 1 pound of smoked sausage that we've sliced up. And you can sear this along with those onions before to add some flavor, but we're making this dump and go this morning. 3 heaping tablespoons of minced garlic, about a tablespoon of garlic powder, about a tablespoon of onion powder. Since I don't have onion powder still, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of minced onion, about 1 teaspoon of ground thyme, or about 2 teaspoons of dried thyme, about 1 tablespoon of your favorite Cajun seasoning, and about a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to mix this all around. We're not going to add any salt right now because the Cajun seasoning and the chicken broth both have salt. And we're going to wait and let it cook all day, and then we'll salt it and add any extra seasoning we need this evening. So we've got this on low. I'm going to close the lid and just let this cook for pretty much the whole day, but at least 8 hours. Alright y'all, and after a super long day like today has been, a crock pot recipe is exactly what we need. So we're just going to come in and mash up a good bit of these beans. They're nice and tender already, so just mashing up a good bit of them will help to thicken this recipe up and give it that creamy texture we're looking for. And we're just going to serve this over some rice, and dinner is done. As y'all can hear, I am soaking wet and exhausted from today, but we still you know, kids, they just don't care. You still gotta get dinner on the table. So we're just mashing up these beans. And I wish I could find my potato masher at the moment. But we're just gonna take the spoon and get them. I don't want to mash all of them, but I want to take several of them and mash them and just let them thicken up this soup. Well, let them thicken up and make this a nice creamy red bean. There we go, y'all. Red beans and rice.